where a woman and her son were found shot to death in Clinton this morning, and the suspect, James Horn Jr., is still at large. Authorities are getting ready to have another press conference, so let's listen in now.
Okay, I don't have a whole lot of new information for you other than that Sedalia Police Department and people supporting them are still on the scene over there in Sedalia, nearby the crime scene from earlier in the year where Miss Sutton was held. Not a lot of new information coming out of that other than that they are looking at more than one residence over there. Apparently there are a few different abandoned homes in that area that they're looking at, and they're trying to locate James Horn. They believe that he may be inside one of those houses, and from what I'm told, they're not occupied dwellings.
Lieutenant, do you think the investigators think that Mr. Horn is in one of those buildings, or are they just guessing?
They do believe that, and we say that. They believe that he may be inside of one of those houses. It's nearby Bothwell Hospital, and that's where Miss Sutton's vehicle was recovered. And in reviewing surveillance tapes, video from that area, someone got out of that car and walked into the direction of these houses. So it's not too far. Now, the video was not of the quality of which you could ascertain who exactly that might have been. That got out of that vehicle and walked away. However, they did see that it was parked, someone got out and walked away towards those houses. And they just feel that he may be inside of one of them.
Can you walk us through what exactly police are doing in addition to reviewing the surveillance video? Are they combing the area still around the hospital?
I'm not sure. I suspect that they have a very, very large police presence in that area over there, and that they are actively searching for Mr. Horn. They probably have a pretty good perimeter set up to ensure that if he is in the area, he does not leave the area, and those sorts of things. Other than that, I could only speculate about what it is they might be doing to...
Yeah, do you know if security guards, passers-by, anybody who saw him, you see the vehicle pull up outside the hospital, who saw him?
It was discovered, the vehicle was discovered by a Sedalia patrol officer, just who simply saw our bulletin that we issued, and then, you know, began patrolling and seeing if he could locate the stolen vehicle. And he did locate it there in the parking lot of the hospital, as I understand.
What about here in Sedalia? Are you talking to, were there any witnesses, anybody coming forward? I'm sorry.
In Clinton, you know, we have, as far as witnesses of the act itself, no, we don't have anything like that. But there are people that we're talking to gain information. We've got just over 30 investigators on the scene here in Clinton, and they're working in teams, working leads, and going out and gathering information that might be of benefit to us in this case.
Sonny, around 11:20 this morning, there was a report of a gunshot fired at the scene.
Okay.
Heard anything of that?
In Sedalia?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that might have been, but yes.
Autopsies?
Autopsies will occur. I don't know for a fact that the deceased have been removed from the scene at this point, but yes, they absolutely will occur. And I don't know where.
Is there a preliminary cause of death?
You know, just the apparent cause of a gunshot wound. You know, it's apparent when you look at them that someone shot them.
You recovered a weapon?
We have not. We have not recovered a weapon.
Does it look like the house was forced entry?
I don't have that information from the crime scene. They're still wrapping that part up. I didn't see anything obvious. I was there this morning, but that doesn't mean, you know, we didn't scrutinize it. You know, I was there with the chief, and we arrived on the scene, but you know, the minutia of that and looking at all of the doors and windows to make sure that if there's any evidence of forced entry, that's being done at this time.
Lieutenant, respectfully, is it likely that people here in Clinton might leave doors and windows unlocked overnight?
Yes, that's absolutely the case. You know, there are folks here in town that feel very safe and appropriately so. Most times, you know, these are not events that are a daily occurrence or a yearly occurrence.
When was the last time you had a homicide, a murder hit?
I believe it's been a couple of years ago. It's been long enough that I'd have to go look. Been a little while.
Based on Mr. Horn's past with sexual assaults against women, are you guys thinking that that may have happened before the murder? Or are you looking into that at all?
That'll all be determined during the autopsy. You know, the medical folks will have a look at that and determine exactly what may or may not have occurred, you know, prior to and after death.
Earlier, you didn't know where Sandra's body was found. Have you learned any more? You just said something about the boy being found on some
She was in one of the bedrooms. That's it.
upstairs.
Yeah.
Going back to her order of protection, what could she have done? What could she have asked for?
Well, she could have. You know, the whole point of her getting an order of protection, you know, sounds good. But he was on the run for unlawful use of a weapon, kidnapping. You know, he had charges that were out on him that he was wanted for from this prior incident. So there was that. But as far as getting an order of protection, she could have gotten an order of protection. She didn't. Did that lead to her death? I really can't say with any certainty that it did. You know, I really don't know.
Would that police would have been your house, or
By and large, if you have an order of protection and you come to us and request extra patrol and make us aware of that, we will do our best to extra patrol your premises and be aware that, you know, perhaps you are a citizen who needs some extra attention. There could be trouble at this location. Sure, we're a small community. I don't know if you could expect that in a town of 500,000 people, but, you know, in 9,500, certainly we do those sorts of things.
So Horn working for assemblies. Any idea in the last 3 weeks if he might have reached out to them via phone or drove by the house?
We don't know, and we hope to recover possibly some, you know, electronic devices that she is associated with and examine those, and in doing so, we might be able to see if that was the case. But we don't have any information that occurred.
You say that Clinton PD did not know that she was here, but did civilian PD know that she was here?
I don't know.
Have you asked them?
We have not at this point. Haven't talked to them about that. Nope. I do know that she was advised by a couple of different victim advocates to get a protection order and to inform law enforcement of her locations and things of that nature. That was done, but she felt as though she was safe over here staying with her family member, and from talking to the victim advocate folks, she just did not feel like she wanted to do that.
Jenna, who gave her that advice? Do you know? Maybe even in a general term?
Who gave her that advice?
Yeah.
Victim advocates in Sedalia and here as well, I guess. The Missouri Sheriff's Association has a victim services advocate, and she talked to her as well, I guess. So.
Here in Clinton?
No, I think she works all over this part of the state. But she was advised by victim advocates who work with the court system for safety that she should do those things. But the real suspect here and the real driving factor in these deaths is absolutely not the victims. It's the person that victimized them. We believe it's Mr. Horn.
Jen, do you have any ideas about how Mr. Wolf, if he's in fact the person here, how he got over here from Sedalia?
That's something we're still trying to figure out. We don't know how he got here.
And the car that you recovered was Mrs. Sutton's?
It was her vehicle that was used by her. It was not owned by her, but she did use that vehicle all the time.
Is there any indication that he may have been in Clinton for a period of time before this?
No.
There's no indication?
Not yet, no.
If he did this heinous thing to her previously, why wasn't he in jail?
I don't know. I have no clue on that. I don't know what the outcome of that investigation was over there. I know that he was formally charged to the court system, and there were warrants for his arrest. I don't know that he'd ever been arrested initially on those. That's probably the answer to that question.
I mean, throwing someone in a box in a closet is pretty egregious, wouldn't you agree?
I absolutely agree.
I believe he's been at large.
Yeah, I think he's been at large since that incident. As I understand it, she escaped those bonds, and
got better intel of where she's at than the police did.
I guess maybe that's true. I don't know.
As far as the time of the murder, we know the relatives came home around 4:20ish. Do you know what time they normally leave for work, or what time frame you guys are looking at?
You know, I don't know the exact time that they left for work last night. I don't at this point. We have talked to them extensively and gotten a lot of information from them, but I don't know the answer to that question. Okay.
Is there another update scheduled?
Yeah, I'll come back out at 2:30, and hopefully maybe we'll have some information from Sedalia, and maybe something will be going on over there, and have more to tell you about. Till then, we'll just continue working our leads that we have.
And as you just heard, authorities are still trying to piece together loose ends in this murder case. Now, we will continue to stay in Clinton, Missouri, as authorities are still investigating. We also have a team in Sedalia, Missouri, where authorities have the suspect's home surrounded. Now, be sure to stick with ABC 17 News starting at 5 for complete coverage. We will also be updating our website, abc17news.com, so let's get you right back to regular programming.